right, hey everybody, welcome to Optimism Fractal. We're here for our 40-second meeting. So pleased to be here with amazing builders who you can see on the screen. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to share a presentation briefly about Optimism Fractal and the Respect game and what's on the agenda for today. If anyone would like to say a quick hello or anything like that, then feel free. Otherwise, hope that everybody's having a great time and hope you'll have a wonderful Respect game and a wonderful Optimism Fractal event.
I want to say, roll that beautiful OP fractal footage.
All right, thank you, Will Jobs. Welcome to Optimism Fractal Season 4. We're almost halfway through the Season 4. Can you believe it? It's amazing. So Optimism Fractal, if you're not familiar, it's a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the superchain. And you can learn all about it at optimismfractal.com, or at least a lot about Optimism Fractal at optimismfractal.com. You can join our events here and network with builders, such as the people on this call, and collaborate with talent and collaborate and make friends. And also at each event, we play an amazing on-chain social game called the Respect Game 2, which we play. We played about 40 times now here, and each participant shares what they've been doing to help Optimism. Then we collaborate to rank each other's contribution, put it on chain, and then all earn respect, which serves as a foundational primitive for decision making and many other powerful utilities and powers. We record videos and we produce episodes from each event too, so everybody's welcome to join this stage, be part of the video, share your work. We love to raise awareness for all the great public goods creators out there, and you can watch it with great show notes on each episode, as well as we're building open source tools. Lots of great developers in the community building open source tools to improve decision making and help people play the Respect game and similar games and similar tools and so forth for decision making. Great place to develop your on-chain career and business. You can find links to all these things, including the Notion site, where you can learn more of the tools. And there's also a lot of funding opportunities too, which we might talk about at the town hall afterwards, that go on in the Optimism Collective, such as retrofunding and so forth. And it's also a place where we're trailblazing the future of governance too. We've been working on this process of fractal democracy for the past few years now, predating Optimism Fractal. We have a details page where you can learn about our community's core intents and our protocols and so forth. And we also have a Sages Council where you or people who have earned respect can participate and help lead the community. And everybody's welcome to help choose topics for the town hall, which happens right after the Respect game at each event. You can learn more about where Optimism Fractal came from, our roots at edenfractal.com, and also optimistics.io, which are teams and communities that helped start Optimism Fractal, and lots more information you can find there. And also you can explore more about the superchain, Optimism, and Base, WorldCoin, Sonium, Zora, Mode, Redstone, and many other networks leading to build a more equitable internet, a better future for all. You can learn more at optimism.io, base.org, and many other sites. And you're welcome to join the events on Thursday, the 17th UTC. It's the best way to get involved with the community. Also welcome to join Discord and farcaster and stuff. We appreciate people getting involved always, but the best way is to join the events and play the Respect game. So everybody's welcome to join and invite their friends. Lou.Monsters Optimistics is where you can find the event page and find the Zoom room and get email reminders. And Optimistics put out these great tweets each week with beautiful art talking about optimism builder games. We appreciate likes and retweets and follows and so forth. Everybody's invited to join and collaborate with builders, as you can see playing the Respect game here. And also Rosemary's been putting out some great messages. Shout out also to Zal too. He hasn't been able to make it lately. He's hosting Zao Fractal now these days, and he's encouraging everybody to tap in. So yeah, we appreciate everybody sharing the messages on X and also Farcaster. We have the Farcaster channel for Optimism Fractal, where you can see lots of recent things we've been posting about, and everybody's welcome to engage here and share some thoughts, as well as on the governance forum, gov.optimism.io too, where you can see some recaps from Rosemary. We produce videos, like I said. If you go to the top right corner in the video section, you can find out all the videos we've been making from the beginning of Optimism Fractal, and you can see beautiful images and also detailed thumbnail or detailed descriptions and timestamps as well. So for example, last week we talked about the Optimism Fractal hat streak, which was awarded as one of the co-winners of the Hats Protocol Hackathon, and Let's Grow, which was the other co-winner. And we have really detailed show notes that Rosemary's been putting together too, where everybody can learn more about all these things. It's kind of like an article about each week's events and so forth. So you can find much more details and encourage you to explore these resources and learn more about all the great things going on. And thanks everybody for participating and contributing to all the great things that have been going on at Optimism Fractal so far. And of course, you can see this on the Eden Careers YouTube channel as well. We appreciate subscribers and likes and shares. We're going to have the Optimism Town Hall after the Respect game at 18 UTC. So we're going to play the Respect game for about 45 minutes and then head to the Town Hall. So this provides an opportunity for everybody to propose or suggest topics. We're playing the OP Topics game this week. You could see the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space where we propose topics or schedule topics rather. And the scheduled topic that received the most votes is OP Topics, which is a game where people can vote on topics with respect and also vote to change the topic and so forth. We're pioneering some innovative ways to host meetings and have calls. So thanks everybody who voted on this proposal. This will be the discussion topic for today. And then there's an OP Topic snapshot space, which allows us to vote on different topics at the event. So I had proposed several topics: Optimism Mission updates, Retrofunding Round 6, Optimism Collective Identity, Optimism Collective Governance, and questions and answers games are ones that we haven't discussed yet. So anybody is welcome and at any time to vote on those or propose your own topic if you have something in your mind. You can see them flash on your screen real quick right now, and then we'll discuss one of these topics or maybe multiple of them afterwards when we do the respect game, after the respect game, when we do the Optimism Town Hall. I'm going to give a quick section of community news here. I want to give a shout out to Patrick, who did an interview with Vlad, who's building a respect game on EVM app. Recommend people watch it and check it out. Also, Zal put out how he's really bullish about fractal governance and fractal games. Yeah, that episode that we recently published has the ORDAO app that Tadas is building, and I believe that Patrick also did an interview with Jacob, who helped with the hats integration for Optimism Fractal, and these are taking a little while to load right now. They're not preloaded, but Tadas has also been hosting ORDAO office hours too, where you can learn more about what's been going on with the ORDAO development. That everybody's been welcome to join, and we've been producing videos. He's been giving out respect using the new software he built as well, and there's now a playlist where you can find all the ORDAO stuff going on. Patrick also did an interview with Tadas here as well. I put together some articles that will be coming together soon more. But anyway, I also want to give a shout out to Rosemary, who put out this really nice page showing feedback from Optimism Fractal too. So we're kind of collecting this and sharing what everybody is saying about all the cool things about Optimism Fractal. So with that, we're going to play the respect game. So I think everybody knows how to do it, but we're going to go into breakout rooms of up to 6 people, and each person's going to get up to 4 minutes to share how they're helping optimism and introduce themselves and so forth if they like. And then we're going to rank each other's contributions posted on chain with the Fractogram app. And everybody, you can find more details at optimismfractal.com/welcome, and feel free to record your breakout room. Feel free to share your screen. Feel free to share any links to your work. We'd love to see what you're doing and happy to help promote you. And then we'll try to wrap up the game by about 5 or 10 minutes before the top of the hour so that we'll have time to make sure all consensus results are in, and we'll have time to get into the town hall smoothly. Thank you, everybody, for watching the presentation, and I will start up the breakout rooms now.
Long time no see. Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hey, I'm going to ask Das if he can record. I did give recording permissions, or maybe I'll ask Will or somebody. I'll just tag them in there so we can get the recording from the other room as well. And I forgot to mention before I open up the breakout rooms.
Okay. Who's gonna host now?
Either way, I could do it, or if you want to do it, Rosemary, then feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, I can go. You can go. Either of us, I suppose.
Okay.
Amstramgram, pique, collegram, Amstramgram. So, Rosemary, woman first.
Okay. Cool. I suppose who would like to go first playing the respect game?
Welcome.
Me?
You, yeah. Who else? Is there another woman into this room?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. No problem. I just finished preparing my slides, so.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
Oh, the timer.
Cool.
Ooh.
With only 4 of us, I suppose we could do 5. You want me to turn it on for you?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Great. 5 minutes. Okay. Wow. Cool. So I have edited the video from last week, and it's now uploaded under OF41. And also uploaded the video again from last week from Eden Fractal, and it's also uploaded. I invite everyone to check it out. It has timestamps. You can find all the Optimism Fractal videos in this playlist. Same thing with Eden Fractal. Then I promoted today's event. I created this image that Dan showed earlier. And I worked alongside Dan to craft this message. He was providing feedback, and it's a thread. That's what we go with these days. And then also we promoted the Optimism Town Hall. I made this image to illustrate some of the topics that are proposed in the OPTOPICS space. And again, it's a thread that links to also the snapshot itself and how to play, as well as the town hall topic that was proposed. I distributed this message across various platforms, as always. One was Discord, Optimism Fractal Discord. The message is pretty similar at every platform, just some tweaks here and there. And also, I shared the recording from the second breakout room alongside that, and share the videos, in the Optimism Fractal Discord, and also Telegram, the Eden Fractal Telegram group. And I finally worked to add thumbnails for the breakout rooms from the recordings that I do when I get into another breakout room then. And you can see them in the playlist of Optimism Fractal. Now they all have this the same thumbnail, but with the room that they're from. And I also made a few proposals to distribute respect for room 2 at OF40 and OF41, as well as the registration poll for the council. And you can see all the messages that were sent in different platforms in here in this Notion project. I also worked, as Dan mentioned earlier, a bit more on the show notes for the OF40 event for ORDAO and OREC. I put some links there that link to the Tadas' presentations previously. You can explore the timestamps as always and feedback section. So much appreciated about the great feedback that we've been receiving lately. And same thing here with OF41, a bit more information about the topic of the event. I made some slight changes to refine the welcome guide. I added some more information like in this section, and here and there. Was mostly done. I just made sure that it was kind of flowing better. I attended ORDAO office hours that Tadas hosts, where I attended 3 of them. They happened in the past 4 days, and they were pretty useful. I like them very much, and there are recordings from those that Dan did. I just attended and asked questions, but you can check the recordings. I think Dan will share a link soon in our Discord and Telegram. I worked a lot to curate this feedback page that soon will probably be featured in the main optimismfractal.com website and Optimistics website. What it consists of is a page where from the time and event where a date and season and platform and so forth from when we receive feedback. And let's say if I open a page, you can see kind of what the feedback was, and a lot of them are during the events, so there's timestamps where you can actually hear. There are some feedback on this video commission request that Dan will probably cover. I watched a bunch of episodes here. These ones, all of them I watched up from the Gilded Age, and also this one here. And what else did I do? I did like a bunch of research, so you can check out my Twitter for more. And also for the town hall, I made this intro draft video. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Bravo.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Rosemary, very much. Would you like to pick somebody to go next?
You.
By you meant Abraham or Patrick, right?
No, you then.
I think that you meant Abraham or Patrick, personally.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I could, but if Abraham or Patrick want to go next, then I'll just say I would appreciate that, because that would give me a little bit more time to prepare. I didn't have the chance to prepare in advance like I usually aim to do today.
Okay, no problem. Patrick, I nominate Patrick. He
Okay,
seems
okay,
like
okay.
he really wants to go. I can see it in your eyes. Patrick.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you've been waiting. Okay, the floor is yours.
Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm ready to go. So I have just updated the fractal.net fractals, fractal data collector.html. So the mind map is growing, as you see. So on the left part of Optimism Fractal, now we have the Jacob Omanix ads protocol video mapped out. We have also the special Optimism Fractal ORDAO OREC video of Tadas mapped out. And we have Tadas nodes about on this node ORDAO, because on the mind map on a node, you can add nodes. That's very powerful. And an overview pointing to the GitHub of Tadas for the ORDAO. Deployment pointing to the Discord. And OREC is a component of ORDAO, so he has the mechanism, so the GitHub again, and the state transition, how a proposal pass of one state to other state. And this week I had also the video of term 11 update of Upscale Fractal, where we were mentioning ads protocol as a fantastic tool to link the trees. As you see, ads protocol on the side of Upscale Fractal is parenthesis soon, because we will have an ads protocol. And we have also the video with Vlad, Respect Game on EVM. Nice interview with Vlad. Shout out to Vlad, by the way, doing an amazing job. And the current Upscale Fractal application, how we vote each other each week in Upscale Fractal. So this mind map is continuing. And on Twitter, I try to do my best to promote ORDAO and OREC. I saw Rosmari mapping that out into the Optimism website. Shout out for that. And you find all on Nova Crypto LTD Twitter account. You have also my YouTube, Nova Crypto LTD. That's the same encore handle. So shout out to everyone that has retweet, like Dan has retweet, Rosemary has retweet, also Cassie has retweet in Upscale. So 1 + 1 = 3, as always. We want to promote at the best. I think I stop here. It's okay. Thank you. And I will nominate not Dan because he needs time as always. So I will nominate Abraham to go next. Thank you.
Okay.
Abraham.
Thanks, Patrick. Let's see. Okay, so non-visual stuff. I went to ORDAO and oh,
I love it. The timers.
who's running that timer?
Yeah,
I got
need
it.
All right. Yeah, so I went to the two of the ORDAOs, and that was really cool. I am continuing to participate as an OP delegate. I'll post the link in the chat. I also attended the Mission Grants Council on Monday. And I've been kind of heavily into debugging the last part of the Fractally application where people are joining Fractal sessions and also where the final consensus is being agreed on. So I can show a little bit, hopefully. Okay. So this first page is what someone who is not one of the leaders would see. I may keep this, I may not, but essentially this is the sessions that they participated in the past. And then the newest session that's created, they're going to have a way to join the session when it is created. So the organizer will click a button and start it kind of like in here. So this is the admin guy. So he'll grab like his participants, you create the session. This will probably take a second because it usually has to compile. There it goes. So it'll create a session and then that session will actually show up in here and then they can click on that and go into the session.
Oh.
This is just like the, oops. Look at. Yeah, this wallet is weird. It kind of tends to log us out. Let me grab the other one. We should see here, the administrator has created the session at session 23. And then now over here, we should be seeing the list. And 23 is on there. So then once that's there, then they can click into session 23 and then they'll join the same session. And they can see all the people they can vote for. So yeah, the next step is really trying to get the logic behind when these votes are tallied and how consensus is reached and stuff like that. I've been working on that for at least 2 weeks now. It's pretty complicated to program. And then once we get down to the last level of consensus, then we're going to submit to ORDAO. And then everybody will get a confirmation screen, but all of it will be in one single app. So the whole process, you won't have to leave this app other than just your video feed. I will probably do a video feed inside the app at some point. And also, I don't know if maybe putting the timer in this application may make sense. We were talking about potentially putting a timer for reaching consensus. But you know, open to suggestions, and we'll, you know, the first iteration. This is kind of you know, we'll tweak it and make it fit and make it beautiful too. It's really just trying to get the functionality together right now, but it's exciting. I have a big trip coming up this week. I'm gonna be on an airplane for probably 12 hours total, so I should have plenty of time to work on it this week. So I'm excited about that.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I'm excited, and just got to keep plugging away. There's a lot of bug debugging to make sure that this thing doesn't, annoy us when we start using it. So that's the goal.
Great job, yeah. We were mentioning you in the video with Tadas as you are creating a UI for integrating Ethereum name system with Optimism Fractal in order that we can have the real names, real accounts, not just big long addresses. Yeah, just parentheses. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that'll be nice. Yeah,
I forget. Yeah, I forget to mention that I was participating just before this this one into the with Rosemary and then into the ORDAO, the last one of this week, just before. That was very great by Tadas, and yeah, I enjoy to integrate the things into the because I can read the block scout, I can read your app also. That would be great to map out that very well, and I'm very happy to. I have a reason to wake up and to continue to do the. No, that's stupid what I say. I have a reason not to wake up in any way, but a reason to continue to map out the mind map. That's nice. Thank you. Good job. Yeah.
Thanks.
You want? Yeah.
I'm excited about it, and I think it's gonna make the whole process easier. But I do want to make sure that it is at least reasonably smooth before we start trying to use it. So, so it'll probably be a couple more weeks, but yeah, but close. It's very close.
You want to nominate someone?
Yes, please.
I'm ready now, unless you want to nominate somebody else.
Can I nominate Patrick again?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Dan. You're
All
up.
right. All right. It sounds good. Thank you for the great work and great presentation. Really exciting to see. And I'll share my screen now to share what I've been up to. So what I've been doing to help optimism in this week. Been going a lot of different directions. So people mentioned the ORDAO office hours a few times. So I guess it's a good place to start. I helped Tadas with these a lot. I met with Tadas last week and talked for a while about how these could be structured. He reached out to me and expressed interest in hearing some of my feedback and have me help out. So I set up this event page for him. He wrote a lot of this stuff, but I provided some feedback on best way to convey it and stuff like that, and then just kind of helped him through the whole process of being able to host the event with this page. Tested some different platforms with him. While doing so, well, I also participated in all four of them too, and then I recorded and shared them as well. And learned how to use ORDAO. I also started to put together an article at optimistics.com/ORDAO. It's still a work in progress, but I kind of copied and pasted or used AI to kind of summarize some of it, as well as included some of the videos that we've done so far about ORDAO as well, just to have it all kind of in one spot. So that's there, a work in progress. I put together this playlist where people can learn more about OREC and ORDAO. And also there's a similar article for OREC where you can see more details about the OREC contract. And then I also, as I showed before, I spent some time working on the proposals for OPTOPICS for Optimism Town Hall. And I guess my slide was a bit disordered there, but yeah, going back to ORDAO real quick, I had shared some updates here and like shared the videos each week or each day to try to make it so other people could watch it quickly. And then also on a related note, I reached out to several developers in the community. I participated in the Grants Council office hours and asked them about a lot of questions about grant cycles and the audit hub grants in particular for people who are building software. So reach out to people who are building Optimism Fractal tooling and applications and encourage and provide some detail about how to do that in the Fractal app chat. Going back to the OP topics, as I showed before, I proposed like 3 or 4 topics this week and provided some more detail about each of these two. So I just had the chance to just put them up really quickly, but then these Notion pages have more detail. So I was kind of curating some of the experience I had and the various mission requests and mission proposals that I made in this season. So that's up there as a topic if we want to go over that today. On that note too, I also spent a while addressing feedback from grants counselors. So I did not have either of the mission proposals approved this cycle, but we got a lot of good feedback. And for example, OP Michael asked some questions here. He didn't have a full understanding of how it worked and was kind of missing a lot of the concepts. So I wrote a really thoughtful message in response to him, explaining some of the benefits. This was for the Eden Creators videos application. So I explained some of the benefits of it. And so just try to write it out really well to convey the benefits of Optimism Fractal and the videos that we create here to him. And then, yeah, I also made other topic proposals for retrofunding. I was researching the upcoming round structure and stuff like that. So I can go into more details about that at the town hall. And I put out a post on the governance forum, letting people know about the Optimism Fractal Hats tree. This happened a week or two ago, but I hadn't yet shared it on the Optimism website, on the Optimism Governance forum, and put it all together kind of in one spot with some of the tweets and stuff to sum it up here so people can be aware, and also kind of hinted at some of the other technical updates coming up, like the app that Abraham is building, and Vlad and Howard and Tadas. I also started to organize all these topics for upcoming into a town hall topic database and Notion too. So there's lots of topics here, getting more organized here. Provided some feedback with Rosemary on the feedback database that she built, as well as her promotions. I also put out a little promotion this week too, or maybe a couple, just kind of like retweeting and quoting and stuff like that. I just kind of like engaged a bit in the Optimism Fractal Discord and just welcomed people, and then shared some follow-up thoughts in a lot of these messages here, and asked some questions. And then I also watched the breakout room that Rosemary published last week, as well as the interviews that Patrick had published, as well as several different optimism related podcasts, like Rosemary had mentioned, the Gilded Age. So always learning more about optimism in the super chain and becoming more well equipped in knowledge. And then also I often read the Optimism Governance forum too. I go to the latest threads, and then I just read through like anything that looks interesting. Like for example, this accelerated decentralization proposal for optimism, which I saw actually Tadas responded in his first comment, which was pretty cool. And then yeah, I'm also working in the Optimism Fractal projects and tasks and stuff like that. So you can find more details there. But I think that's just about 5 minutes. So that's a good overview of my work for this week, and happy to answer any questions. But with that, we can start up with the respect game with in Fractogram. I don't know if Rosemary, you want to do that, or I don't know if Abraham, if you learned how to do that. But one of us can do that, and also we can just have some time to ask each other any questions that might be relevant for reaching consensus as well now too.
I can set it up.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Rosemary. Does anybody have any questions or comments on anybody's contributions in the meantime?
I just want to say that's just a good melting pot here. We have a data collection of data, then putting that in Notion, organizing that in a beautiful table of content, timestamps. Then you have Abraham with the app making a UI. So what else? Cappuccino, popcorn? No, I think it's very well executed. Bravo. Shout out.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that, and I agree too. We have an amazing community, so really very appreciative of the work that you're doing. The interviews were great, as well as the work that Abraham's doing with the app, and the work that Rosemary's doing with the promotions and show notes and everything like that, and then the other room, and everybody else who's been contributing. Optimism Fractal is really coming together more than ever, and very excited and very appreciative of it.
Yeah, Jacob was just great into the interview. Tadas, that was a good moment as always. Try to make the things very concise, very well break down. Vlad also. So yeah, I am just here to then timestamp and basically edit the video, all my bullshit English, and then that's become a great interview. So shout out to my guest, otherwise that would be boring. Yeah, anyway, that was nice.
Yep. Sounds good. Shout out to the guests. Also, one question I guess I had for Abraham, which is maybe kind of more general question, but I'm just wondering, what do you think? Also, Rosemary just put out the Telegram group too, so we can all join that now. I'm curious what your perspective is on ORDAO after you had the chance to join some of the office hours and dig into it. And then I'm also generally curious about how you're collaborating with Howard too. I suppose we could also save those questions for after if we want to reach consensus quickly. But maybe if you want to answer briefly or however much, we do have 18 minutes, so it's not that big of a rush. But yeah, curious about how your collaborations with Howard are going, and then how you're thinking about maybe integrating with ORDAO.
Yeah, probably it seems like there's a really easy kind of interchange point for connecting with ORDAO from the front end. It's just a matter of probably exposing a trusted connection somehow. So there would be some kind of token, and you know, we would want to probably verify what's sent to make sure, you know, in the future there's not some kind of bot attack or something that tries to get a bunch of, you know, a bunch of respect. But in the near term, connecting it is probably going to be pretty easy. I think we're just gonna, you know, we're just gonna mount some transactions on the wallets and send over the confirmation transactions individually through the wallets. That should go to ORDAO, and that should kick off the typical process of distributing the respect. I don't see it. I don't think that's going to be complicated. It's just getting the logic right to get the consensus is tough. But once that's done, then it's done, and we can, you know, we can reuse it a bunch of times. So that part I'm not so worried about. I think ORDAO looks like it's very well designed. It looks like it's configurable, which is really cool. I think that, you know, there's probably lots of room for iteration as, you know, we have a very small group. So as we grow and, you know, different kinds of people come, there will be different requirements. I think, you know, you can never really expect what's going to come in the future, but you can certainly try to prepare for it. I've done a pretty extensive job of trying to make sure that even like a, you know, AI botnet cannot attack the front end, because the front end can be kind of vulnerable, and it's easy to spoof, you know, various security tokens and stuff like that. So I've tried to be really careful about that, just so that people can trust it, so they can trust the app without feeling like, oh, it's going to get, you know, it's going to get hacked. Like you could actually use this in a big organization and not feel like, oh my gosh, this is something that somebody cooked up in the garage, you know?
Yes.
So, you know, there's that. And then the other question was, how's my collaboration going with Howard? I think, you know, Howard's probably been kind of busy. I think he's got another project he's working on, but we're probably gonna clamp in. You know, I've had a busy week too, so I think, you know, trying to get the HATS protocol integrated is really important, just so that we can get away from hard-coded wallet addresses. But once that is in, I think that's going to be a nice benefit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to. I know that he has set up the application locally, and I think he's been able to access, you know, the application in his local instance and got wallets going and stuff like that. So he's basically trying to figure out, how do I connect the wallet to the fact that it has the NFT, and then you know, and then that will be integrated with the system that I already wrote, where it's like, are you an admin? Okay, if you have this NFT, you're an admin.
All right, very cool. Thanks so much for the overview. Great work. There's lots of other things I could ask, and I'm very curious, but I'm glad to hear it's going well. And I see Rosemary put out the account prompt on Telegram. So Abraham and Patrick, if you could please add your account there, then we can start reaching consensus whenever we're ready.
I also have a question for Abraham. A few questions. Should I ask them now or later?
It's up to you. We do have 15 minutes, 14 minutes left to the top of the hour, and we do try to wrap it up a bit early. So it's up to you if you want to ask all of them or one of them now or save them for after. We could also ask them when we go back to the breakout room too, when Tadas and Howard are back too, if that's helpful.
Yeah.
But if it's helpful for reaching consensus now, then by all means go ahead.
It's not helpful for reaching consensus.
Okay.
Not much.
Okay. Sounds good. And you can put up the poll whenever you're ready, Rosemary, as we've all entered in our accounts. And everybody can now vote on who they think should be level 6, who helped Optimism the most this week. Everybody seems to be deliberating, deliberating and evaluating. And we do not have consensus. We have one vote for each person.
Whoa.
Would anybody like to change their vote or advocate any direction?
I will put Rosemary on 6 because she the rationale behind is she follow all the basically the socials and what was published, and then she has make a great job to organize on the website, and then that would be very easy for others to collect those data and point to. I was between you and Dan, but if I have to choose, really, yeah, I will say Rosemary personally. My choice.
Thanks, Patrick. I'll say, oh, I see Rosemary unmuted. Do you want to go and respond to that, Rosemary? Or...
Thank you. I voted for Dan because I read his response to Michael's comment on the video, Eden Creators video mission proposal. He really put like a lot of thought into writing it, and all the Grants Council reviewers and more are probably going to read that. And he was explaining the proposal for Michael, who's one of the main leaders of Optimism.
Yeah.
And if we can lay out the values for what Optimism Fractal provides and helps Optimism with, then to Michael and people who are very involved with in Optimism's governance, like the Grant Council reviewers and much more, then that's, I think, the biggest win for me for this week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rosemary. And I agree. I think that that would be Michael. He's a very well respected leader. He hosts the calls. So and then other grants counselor top delegates. So them seeing that will be really helpful, I think. I'll also say I voted for Abraham because I think that he's been making great progress on the Fractogram app, which is really helpful, super helpful. I believe that's going to enable once it's complete, for it to enable, in addition to Vlad's app, but in a very different way that Abraham is building it, people to play the respect game and cooperate with respect game in a way that only having the open source software or having the tool can do. And also he's also serving as delegate, which is great, and helping out in a variety of other ways. And then I think kind of asking Howard to help out is attracting more people to help develop and build. And then lastly, I saw that he got I think he got like level 2, which is the lowest rank last week. So I felt like could kind of balance that. I also got like level 3 last week too, so I didn't get the highest rank either. But I could switch to myself. I'm happy to. Or I see actually Abraham now has 2 votes. I had 2 votes. Now Abraham has 2 votes. So, but I also greatly respect what Rosemary and Patrick are doing too. So just want to put that out there. We do have 9 minutes left before the top of the hour, so we should probably reach consensus pretty quickly. Abraham, I see you're unmuted. Do you want to share any thoughts, or does anybody else want to change their votes? Or
I agree with Dan. He convinced me that Abraham has been doing a lot, and I don't know, I don't remember when was the last time Abraham got level 6, but I don't remember exactly. I got level 6 last week, so I'm fine with Abraham getting level 6. Also, Abraham's been posting on Twitter and retweeting, recasting and retweeting. I appreciate that a lot. And also, yes, Howard has even participated most of our DAO events, which is, he's pretty involved now. I appreciate that too. And much more, the UI is looking great too. Thank you. And thanks,
Okay.
Patrick, for the interviews. I watched them. They're lovely. Thank you.
all right. Well, if Abraham, you'd like to switch your vote to yourself, then you can do so.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And we have consensus for Abraham at level 6.
thank you all.
Okay, and now we can proceed to level 5. Okay, and also we have consensus for me at level 5. Thank you for the votes. It is difficult because we all contributed a lot this week to pick between them, but I'm glad we're all getting respect though. All right, and we have 2 votes for Rosemary and 2 votes for Patrick. Does anybody want to share their thoughts? Advocate either way? Or
Patrick, he joined.
I will do the tiebreaker. I will vote for Rosmari.
well, right now, Rosemary is voting for Patrick, and Patrick is voting for Rosemary, so that would not be the tiebreaker.
Ay,
But
mamma mia.
I know
No,
Rosemary was saying
no.
something. I think Rosemary was in the middle of saying
Saying that Patrick joined recently. I still can't believe Patrick is joining here, Optimism Fractal. Yes, and he already did 2 interviews. 3. Yes.
4 with the upscale update. Yeah, 4 interviews. Yeah,
He's,
in a matter of a week, working like always. But that's normal. That's the good pace. Yeah.
yeah, so he edited them with timestamps, promoted them. He's been very active in Discord too. So
And living a while. But
yeah.
I am back.
That's why I vote for you.
I will vote for
Okay.
Rosemary. I
Well,
encourage everyone to switch your vote to Rosemary.
Patrick gave a very convincing pitch for Rosemary before, and then Rosemary had a very
Yeah.
convincing pitch for Patrick right now, and
No,
so
no.
it is tough.
Don't worry. I was already.
I am leaning towards switching my vote to Patrick after hearing Rosemary share that. Although I could vote for Rosemary, I can go either way. Really, I think Rosemary did a wonderful work with the. She's really doing like the promotions have greatly improved, and they're really quite good now, really good, as well as the show notes and stuff like that. So I wanted to give Rosemary some credit for that. But I know Rosemary also got 6 last week, and Patrick has joined the community more recently, and I appreciate that. He's come out with a bang, so happy to go either way. But I suppose we only have 4 minutes left, so I could go with Rosemary's suggestion and switch over to Patrick. And maybe I'll
Okay.
go ahead and do that. Okay, I did it.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary, for all what you do. Anyway, you know, the ranking is not the biggest thing. It's what we do all as together. Because if only 2 or 3 are doing, we need to be very bottom-up approach. Anyway, yeah. If that sounds logical, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway.
Yep, makes sense. And we're all playing a helpful role. Like the fact that you've been doing those interviews, Patrick, that's super helpful. And also like being able to speak with developers about like the technical aspects of ORDAO and the Hats tree, and spreading that to different communities too. Like I know you mentioned Upscale a couple times. So Upscale is community on a different blockchain network, but you've been advocating and telling them about Optimism, and sharing like some of the cool tools built on OPSec. So that's playing a very important role, and I appreciate that. And of course, Rosemary and Abraham also playing different kinds of important roles.
Thank you for the kind words, and I appreciate after this long break that we had, finally we are here together again. That's great.
Likewise. Well, we only have a couple minutes left, so I suppose we could head back to the community room now. And thanks all for the amazing respect game. Please post those results onto the OP mainnet. And then see you back in the community room. If anybody has to go at the top of the hour, then feel free. But otherwise, we'll have a half hour for the town hall scheduled as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You can leave the room in this emoji that's walking out the door, where it says leave room, bottom right of the screen.
Welcome back, everybody, to the community room.
Yeah. Tadas had to take off, so.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to take off here in a minute. I intended to join the town hall today, but unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to. I've got something else that came up.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting us know, Will. And thanks for intending to join. You can watch the recording as always, and hope you had a fun time at the respect game, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Talk to you all next week.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hola, Lorenzo. Hey, Howard. Hope that you all had a good time in your respect games.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to hear. We can get started with the town hall now, or we could do it in a minute or two. We're about a minute to top the hour. If anybody has any quick thoughts you want to share, then feel free. As I was saying before too, we're just at the top of the hour, so if anybody needs to go like Will, then feel free. Otherwise, we have another half hour scheduled for the town hall, and we have some exciting topics in the agenda. So curious what he thinks. And I just realized.
Yeah, I plan on staying today.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thank you for being here with us, Howard. Much appreciated. Also, thank you very much for participating in the ORDAO office hours each day of the past few days. Really appreciate how you've been becoming active in the community and learning to build with the software, or more so, I guess, learning how the software works and stuff like that at this point. And your interest in learning more about the Optimism superchain at the town hall.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm trying.
Sounds good. Well, you're very welcome. And that's how the magic happens, putting in the effort. Okay, and with that, I suppose we can get into the town hall. So I can share my screen. Okay, got it. I just had an issue bringing up the screen, but I got it now. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I also want to say, I want to say Renzo, thanks for sharing the great follow-up messages too. I don't know how to say that in Spanish, but gracias for
Muchas
messages.
gracias.
Muchas gracias por messages in Discord and enthusiasm. It was much appreciated. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Muchas gracias, Renzo, para compartir con nosotros toda la magia de Costa Rica. Muchas gracias.
De pura vida.
Pura vida. Sí.
Thank you so much for
Bienvenido.
De nada, I think. Gracias. Okay, I'll start the recording now. We'll get into it. Trying bilingual here. Espanol.
Yeah.
Hola, welcome to no, I don't know how to say that.
Bienvenido
Hola,
a la
Optimism.
Optimism Town
Torre.
Sí, sí, ole.
Ole.
All right, you heard it here, folks. We have Optimism Town Hall bilingual now. Welcome everybody to Optimism Town Hall. We are here as we are on Thursdays at 18 UTC. Optimism Town Hall is a collaborative forum dedicated to conversations about optimism, featuring innovative community agenda games where participants can choose the topics with on-chain reputation. So yeah, these provide a great place to learn about the latest developments on Superchain, help lead the collective, and explore opportunities with the Optimism Fractal community. At each event, we play this Cagendas game where everybody can propose and vote and choose topics with respect from Optimism Fractal. And so that provides a really interesting and fun way to participate in community discussions. Everybody's welcome to join. Everybody's welcome to invite your friends as well. We play this Cagendas game, which you can learn about at optimistics.io/Cagendas. You can invite friends, by the way, to that previous page, lou.mosh/optimistics or lou.mosh/optimism town hall, where you can register and find more details about how it works by clicking the links there. The way the Cagendas games works is that basically anybody can propose a topic in the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space, and then anybody who's earned respect can vote on polls with respect to determine the discussion topic, and then whichever topic has the most votes on Monday at 17 UTC will be discussed. There's also lots of other iterations that we're working on this as well for Optimism Town Hall in the future, working to enable other ways to vote and so forth, and working on new game modes such as OPTOPICS. We've been doing this for the past about 4 or 5 months now and so forth. So you can see the first Optimism Town Hall videos and much more at optimismfractal.com/videos to learn more about the Optimism Town Hall event. And you can find out the Optimistics calendar. As I mentioned, it happens right after the Optimism Fractal event, and we are all just here playing the Respect game. Optimism Fractal is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the superchain. And each week, at an hour before the town hall, we play the Respect game, where we go into breakout rooms and you can collaborate with builders and so forth. Everybody's welcome to join both these events, and the respect that you earn from these events can help you get more influence over the topics that we discuss here. At last week's event, we discussed the Optimism Fractal Hats Tree and Let's Grow Hats Tree and Hats Protocol, which was selected, the Optimism Fractal Hats Tree and Let's Grow, as co-winners of the hatathon. There's detailed show notes in each of these. We're working on producing these videos separately. The Optimism Town Hall video separately, but right now you can find them in the second half or the last half hour of the Optimism Fractal videos. So yeah, we had some great discussions there, and Rosemary put together some really nice show notes as well to help everybody see all the cool stuff that we've been doing on the town halls, so you can explore notes and learn more about all of this, as well as find timestamps and find more about the Optimism Fractal Hats Tree and the feedback and the Let's Grow Hats Tree and stuff like that. Also, great interviews from community members and great tweets and so forth that I've been putting out there. Thanks, Patrick, for that, and thanks to Hats Protocol once again for the great hatathon, and thanks to Let's Grow for joining last week. Everybody's welcome to join the Optimism Fractal events as well, but we'll get into it. I think you can find it on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. Today's agenda, we'll get into today's agenda. So I have the wrong window pulling up here, but I'll go into the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space here. So the topic that received the most upvotes for this week is the OPTOPICS Cagendas game. So that's what we'll be playing today. Basically, the way this works, it's a game. So we usually use the Cagendas game to schedule topics, and the OPTOPICS allows us to more dynamically choose topics and vote on topics in the new OPTOPICS snapshot space. So basically, anybody can propose a topic in that snapshot space, and you can vote on topics using your respect to set the agenda. And then we're working on an early version of the game where you can like transition topics by saying next topic. And we have kind of an optimistic transition system for topics there. So we can play around with that if we want, but maybe we'll discuss one topic. But if anyone wants to discuss a different topic, feel free to vote on different topics or let us know whatever you'd like to discuss. And also it's an open forum too, so feel free to raise your hand and ask any questions related to optimism, the super chain, if you'd like as well. The topics for today's event that have been voted on are Optimism Mission updates, Retrofunding Round 6, Optimism Collective Identity, and for some reason the window is not scrolling, and Optimism Collective Governance. So, and then there's also questions and answers game too, which is kind of like experimenting with the same OPTOPICS thing. So Optimism mission updates, I'll give a brief overview of these. So we've been discussing missions and mission requests for Optimism 6 since probably past few months, Optimism Fractal. So I can provide some updates about the progress here. There's a Notion page where you can learn more about some of the mission proposals that I've created and mission requests that I've created, as well as some announcements from the Grants Council and how it's been going over the past weeks. We've also produced several videos about Optimism Season 6 and the missions that you could watch at optimismfractal.com/videos and see on the screen right now. Retrofunding was just announced for round 6 as well. So there's a tweet that was put out by Optimism where you can learn the sign up is opening September 6th. Is going to be up to 3.5 million OP dedicated for round 6, which is focused on governance. This is particularly interesting to the Optimism Fractal community, as we're one of our core intents is focusing on optimizing governance on the superchain. So you can learn more about how this works in this tweet. There was also there's lots of details about who's eligible and so forth, and also some articles on the governance forum about the new system for guest voter participation and round details too, so we can dive more deeply into that. And I also have a Notion page with some more details about this as well, including some videos that we had previously published from, I believe, like the 23rd event and the 22nd event, where we talked about Optimism Fractal and retrofunding and how we could potentially integrate. We also have some projects there. The other topics on the agenda are Optimism Collective Identity. There's a great I put together a Notion page there, and there's also some tabs here where we can dive into it. The Optimism Foundation is thinking a lot about identity in the collective and governance. And then there's also a topic for Optimism Collective Governance too, which is, for anybody who's not familiar, the Optimism Collective is a band of companies, communities, and citizens working together to reward public goods and build a sustainable future for on Ethereum. So we can discuss the innovative governance structures in the Optimism Collective, including the Token House, Citizens House, and opportunities for optimizations that we can do with the Optimism Fractal. So if you'd like, I could share a little overview of Optimism Governance. We can have open discussion about it. And this is the topic that has the most upvotes now. So we're playing this with a new system that just whatever topics have the most upvotes from previous weeks too could count. That was one of the ideas with this new OP topic snapshot space. So I believe out of all the topics that were shared here, actually, no, I see Retrofunding Round 6 now has it looks like 1.3K OPF that's voted for it, and Optimism Collective Governance has 1.2K OPF that's voted for it. Everybody's welcome to either vote with abstain or upvote if you want to measure it in different ways, but the upvotes are what will count, but the abstain allows you to just vote with a portion of your respect if you want. The missions have 476 OPF, and then the other one for the identity has 476, and the questions has 0. So the first topic that we'll discuss, thank you, Rosemary, for voting, and thank you everybody who participated in voting, and also thank you for listening to the presentation. So the topic that received the most votes is Retrofunding Round 6. If anybody wants to vote on other topics throughout the event and let us know, then feel free to do so. Thank you for Rosemary for sharing the link. That's snapshot.org/#optopics.eth, where everybody can vote on here. Welcome, welcome, Jean. I see Jean written hola todos. Thanks for joining, Jean. Pleasure to see you, and appreciate you joining. And also welcome, Jacob, as well. We were just speaking about you. Thanks again for all the great work with the Hats tree. So yeah, welcome and thanks for joining. And that concludes my introductory presentation. So we can dive into Retrofunding Round 6. If any would like to share any thoughts about Retrofunding Round 6 or say hello, also Jean, we haven't seen you in a while. So if you want to just say hello and share any quick thoughts, then feel free. I can also share a presentation, go into more details with the tweet and the Notion page for Optimism Retrofunding Round 6 as well. But yeah, maybe I'll give it some space here and to open floor in case anybody wants to jump in and share any thoughts.
Sure, thanks, Dan. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. I just was trying to add a proposal to the OPTOPICS, but had a little difficulty. I think there's a proposal limit that's been reached, so I'm not sure if that's a hard limit or if we can expand that, but just a point or note to be made. Yeah.
Thank you, Gene. And yeah, my apologies about that limit. So if you want to post it in the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space, then go ahead and do that. And right now we'll just count that as part of the OP topics because there is a hard limit from the snapshot platform that if your space isn't verified, then you can have a maximum of 3 topic proposals per day. And I made those 3, so that wasn't very considerate of me to do those 3. I kind of forgot about that. So my apologies for posting 3 and taking up all that space. But the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space, a couple weeks ago, I did get it verified by the snapshot team, and our limit is 20 proposals per day there now. So you can post it there. If you'd like to let us know in audio too, then we'd be happy to hear from you as well, or we can just check out your proposal when you put it up if you prefer.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of bring up a topic of what I've been thinking about in terms of kind of like a on-chain politics or a political concept of, I guess, a collective identity, or I mean, yeah, just kind of a discussion as to what politics or political parties might look like on-chain, and kind of a way to transcend individual communities with a kind of common purpose and voting intention. So yeah, I don't know what that would look like, or if it's practical or plausible or ridiculous. So yeah, just bringing it up.
Thanks, Gene. Yeah, I remember you shared something similar to that in the Discord maybe a couple months ago too, if I recall correctly, and appreciate you bringing it up. That's a very interesting topic, and I really appreciate your interest in making a topic proposal too. So far, it's mostly been me making topic proposals, but I love when others make topic proposals and help guide the discussions too. That's what the system's there for. So yeah, if you want to put that up on the snapshot space, then I'd be happy to vote for it. You could put it up on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space. We could also discuss that potentially in the context of Optimism Collective Governance too, if we want to vote for that one. That's already up there as well. But either way, maybe I'll share the link to the snapshot space here for Optimism Town Hall. I think you know it already. You can find it pretty easily. But maybe put it up there. I mean, if we wanted, we could also just decide to go with Gene's topic too, but I think the rules of the game are set so that first we'll discuss the retrofunding, and then maybe if we have time for it afterwards, we only have 15 minutes scheduled remaining, but we could extend the town hall for longer if we like, or we could schedule the topic that you suggested for next week as well, Gene. So yeah,
Great. Let's do the governance and retrofunding, and let's spin the agenda, and let's go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. And whenever you get a chance to make the topic proposal, either in the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space or in the OP topics snapshot space after 24 hours, then just let us know either in the Zoom chat, if it's now, or in the Discord. And then happy to take a look at that and looking forward to discussing it. All right, very cool. And so does anybody else have any thoughts or questions or comments about the Optimism Retrofunding Round 6 that has the most votes? If you'd like, I can jump into a little overview. It might be news to to most people here. The announcement just came out like a couple days ago, so not sure if everybody had time to absorb it. If anybody has any questions or comments or thoughts, then feel free. I'm also happy to provide a presentation and provide more details and give an overview about it too. Patrick?
Yeah, two questions that if you would be able to break down into those two questions. My first question is this retro PGF that you are investing now and shout out for that meant to be something for the entire Optimism Fractal, meaning the apps of Abraham, the apps of Tadas, even the apps of Vlad? Or, yeah, that's my first question. So if it is meant like Optimism Fractal as a software, as a service for governance, because this retro PGF is governance, I think, oriented, this one. So that's my question one. And my question two is, what are the criteria to be to have a chance to be accepted by this retro PGF with Optimism Fractal? The best chance. Maybe it's related with the first one. If we go all into a connected way and not into a competing way. Yeah, I stop at that. Maybe you would answer to that already in all case. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for asking, Patrick. Those are good questions. So first, I'll just say, well, first, maybe just for any people who are just joining and aren't familiar, just a really quick overview. So retrofunding round 6 is rewarding contributions to Optimism Governance, including governance infrastructure, tooling, governance analytics, and governance leadership. I can share more details about that. And also, in general, retrofunding is this really powerful mechanism to reward public goods creators. It goes along with the axiom and the collective. It's really what most of the Optimism the Optimism collective is very much revolving around, the optimistic vision to reward public goods creators who contribute to optimism and the vision to create a more equitable internet. So I could share more links about that, but just as an overview. And then regarding Optimism Fractal, so we've thought about this a lot. I've thought about this a lot ever since we started building Optimism Fractal last year. And so to provide some context, I participated with the Optimistics team in Retrofunding Round 3, which was last October. And we were thinking about ways that the whole Optimism Fractal community could get rewarded. We want to make it so that, people can get rewarded by contributing to Optimism Fractal. And we have projects where we're organizing lots of these thoughts, and we also discussed this a lot in the previous episodes. And we have to figure out how it makes the most sense to do it, basically. So I'm still not totally sure how it'll work. If we have to apply as individuals for retrofunding, or if we apply as a team or multiple teams. I think in the long run, it would make sense for many people to apply for retrofunding with their own individuals or their teams that are contributing to Optimism Fractal in different ways. Although there also is possibilities that Optimism Fractal itself could be able to distribute the funding in some way if it's done in some good way. But it would need some design work. Another note on this is too, one of my objectives is to enhance Retro PGF and retrofunding with Optimism Fractal, because I think that the respect game and our on-chain governance protocols provide more scalable ways to distribute funding fairly. So it's kind of an ongoing conversation about the best ways to do it and how each person might be able to receive funding by contributing to Optimism Fractal. And curious to hear everybody's thoughts about that. And then secondly, I think the second question was, what are the requirements to participate in retrofunding? And I think there was also part of that about Optimism Fractal and Optimism Fractal, how I suppose the odds of success, or the odds of the likelihood that Optimism Fractal or participants at Optimism Fractal would be able to earn from retrofunding. Is that correct as far as your second question? And did that answer your first question sufficiently?
Yeah, and I love René stating you can and should do both indeed.
Gene.
Meaning you should do, you can do individually, and if you think into your head also to be collaborative and to be 1 + 1 = 3 and fractal bottom-up approach, you will see the link with the other apps. And the way to see the links with the other software apps that are building into this Optimism Fractal, it's to have some data collect, some people like Rosemary, like Dan, connecting the dots, and then you see the links with the other software, because sometimes as a developer, you are very focused on your own thing and maybe not on the other apps. So if we could offer as a package, software as a package, something like that, Optimism Fractal, to, because there are great tools into Optimism Fractal, there are also great tools into Upscale Fractal. So if we can link the Fractal together with the ATS3 protocol, that would be just incredible. Just for that, we could have a better chance to have funds and to to have some fruits for this Optimism Fractal. So yeah, no, that sounds very well. That's need to dive a bit more into the detail. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good points and interesting perspectives. Thanks for sharing, Patrick. And yeah, I'm looking forward to diving more into details to figure out, because people are contributing in all kinds of different ways. And I believe I'm quite confident. I know for sure that Optimism Fractal, what we're doing here creates profound benefits for the collective. And the more that the collective can reward that in different ways and support the efforts, the more benefit it will bring for the collective. But it's also a matter, like the way that the current system is designed, we have to figure out a way to make it work within it, and then also maybe probably have some constructive dialogue with the people in the Optimism Collective and in the Citizens House, which is the house which determines the allocations of retrofunding, as well as with the organizers at the foundation as well, which I'm looking forward to doing. And yes, Shada, a logistical note too. We only have 8 minutes more scheduled, but this is a pretty interesting topic and I think pretty relevant for everybody here. So we could wrap it up in 8 minutes, but I'm also happy to stick around longer. As long as we wrap it up by the top of the hour, then I'm okay with that. We could also just extend it, like say 5 or 10 minutes if we need, but we can also play it by ear. If anybody wants to head out at any point, then feel free, of course, but just want to put that out there so we don't have to feel rushed, like we have to like squeeze in our questions with 8 minutes. I'm happy to stick around to answer questions and explore this in more detail with everybody. I see, Gene, you shared a comment there that it's a more honest and real representation. The collective synergy is valid and acknowledged. And Lavande, who is one of the lead organizers of Optimism Governance, if not maybe the lead, Jean said that she indicated yesterday that the group submission process is open. I'd be interested to hear more about that, Jean, if you want to share any more details. I had not yet heard Lavande say that before, so very interested to hear how that might work.
Yeah, she just provided a set of dates that will be the submission window for a group to submit a application through. So individuals are free to submit as well, but it's obviously ideal to submit as a group again.
Great.
Interesting. Yeah, thanks for the update.
Yeah, I just want also to give some links for your to think about. For example, there is also Upscale Fractal, and the Fractal Upscale, the mission is to create technology for other communities, and at the same time grow the respect value of the token into Upscale. For example, Vlad doing the fractal text-based app going to layer 2's blockchain like Base and Optimism is in the fact is that he will give back 50% of all income generated with this app to Upscale Fractal. to grow the respect token there. That's make a win-win. That's make win optimism. And that's make win upscale. Just to say, when I see group submission, that's make really sense to send the something to those people there as a group and also as individual for sure. But I just sorry, making a parenthesis because there is not only Optimism Fractal, there are other fractals, and if we connect those fractals together and we benefit Optimism layer 2, that's just a beauty. I see Abraham also. Yeah, because alone we cannot be successful. If we are in a group, as a group, we have more chance. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Patrick, for providing more color. I agree that I think over the long term there'll be lots of fractal communities, lots of communities and organizations that that want to and should be rewarded for retro funding. So that's something to explore going forward. With that being said, also let's maybe try to keep it a bit more orderly to not get into too much specifics about all the details, because we still haven't really gotten into the overview of the Retrofunding Round 6. And I see Rosemary asked, are we going to discuss Round 6? And Jean said, yes, let's discuss it for a minute or two. So with that, I think it might be good if I give a little overview and I share my screen again to show more details around 6 for anybody who's curious. Rosemary and Jean, if you had any other ideas in mind or things you want to discuss about Round 6, then feel free to bring it up. Be happy to hear from you. But otherwise, maybe I'll jump into the presentation. And welcome Howard's cat. Okay, cool. So
yeah, there are several ways to gain some exposure to the governance process if people feel like they have not had at this point. So we can discuss that as well.
Sounds good. Jean, did you want to add anything more to that now, or should I go ahead and give this presentation now? And did you want to add more after that?
Oh, please do go ahead, and we'll add anything as a tangent later.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thank you. Looking forward to hearing more about that. So as general overview, I mentioned what retrofunding was, but there's a site app.optimism.io/retropgf, which is talking about how retroactive public goods funding is changing the way impact is rewarded. You can see some updates about how it works here and how it's worked. The system has been going for the past couple of years since Optimism started. And it's gotten progressively larger in terms of how much OP they've distributed and also how many builders they've rewarded. There's a really exciting experience participating in round 3. You can also check out optimism.io and then just go to just explore in general. There's a lot to explore there. And if you go to the vision page, then you can see what I meant about how this axiom of impact equals profit is the principle that positive impact to the collective should be rewarded with profit of the individual, and that is what is uniting the collective. So it's something that Optimism takes very seriously about rewarding public goods creators. Optimism was founded as a public good. So I really appreciate Optimism's dedication towards this, and it provides a really good opportunity. That's one of the reasons why we have been building Optimism Fractal, because we are very values aligned with rewarding public goods creators and finding the best ways to do that. There's also a page here too with details that they recently put up, kind of like a web app for retrofunding. That you can see at retrofunding.optimism.io. There's been a few different rounds that have happened already this year. There's been round 5 for the OP stack. There's also round 4 for on-chain builders. These rounds were larger. So those 2 rounds were 10 million, 8 million OP respectively, whereas the governance round is up to 3 million or 3.5 million OP. So I'm not totally sure why the governance round is significantly lower, but looking forward to learning more details about it. There's also an upcoming dev tooling round 2 coming up in October 2024. Optimism Fractal could also potentially participate in this, or people who contribute Optimism Fractal, or just in general, everybody who's building in Optimism Collective is welcome to join Optimism Fractal and share what they're doing to help governance or dev tooling and so forth. So lots of ways to lots of things you can learn about retrofunding in general. There's results here, and you can see recipients and so forth, and lots of ways that Optimism Fractal could potentially help with these processes. And then going back to the proposal I created, so there's the tweet and there's a Notion page. So first, I guess I could just scroll through the tweet real quick and give a little overview of things that are shared. So the sign up starts on September 26th for Optimism Governance, or for Optimism Retrofunding Round 6 rather. And impact that's being rewarded is between October 2023 and September 2024. So September 28th. So it's impact that's been retroactively created, basically, and not on an ongoing basis. That's one of the things that sets retroactive public goods funding apart, and why it's named retroactive public goods funding. You could see some key dates like the application review process. Sign up will be open for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks of application reviews, and then a week or two of voting, and then the results will come out on November 19th. And to Patrick's question before about checking eligibilities, so they have some categories of types of contributions to the collective that can be eligible for retrofunding. These include governance and infrastructure tooling that powered governance or made the usage of governance more accessible. They give some contract about working on voting clients and governor contracts and identity and reputation infrastructure, voting clients, signups, and so forth. So you can see more details here, but just giving a really high-level overview. And you can check out Optimism's account on X, and it's pinned right at the top if you want to dive in more detail about this. There's also rewards for governance analytics as well, or people who are creating governance analytics tools can be eligible for retrofunding round 6, and also governance leadership too. So hosting community calls and participation in councils, boards, and commissions beyond executing basic responsibilities in the token house charters. Also, I didn't mention the governance analytics, but analytics that enable accountability, provide transparency into collective operations, promoted improved performance, and aided in the design of the collective. And then the allocation will vary between either 1.1 million OP up to 3.5 million OP, which will be decided by I believe the badge holders in this round. So it won't necessarily be 3.5. It might be less than that, but it'll be at least 1.1. And the round design in particular, so this round detail section provides like the most comprehensive overview of how it works that's been released so far. And this provides more details about the scope of categories that I just mentioned that were featured on the Twitter thread, but with much more details here about what things are eligible and not eligible and so forth, and also about the retrofunding round size and how these considerations for the minimum and maximum values will be will be considered, and how that will ultimately be determined. It says the round allocation will be decided by taking the median of citizens' votes. For anyone who's not familiar, the citizens operate in the Citizens House, and there's about 150 citizens. Plus, there's also a new kind of voting design here too, where a number of guest voters will be selected to further understand how different voter selections methods impact resource allocation decisions. So they're running an experiment basically to figure out the best ways to allocate funding in the future. There's also some interesting comments here too, as people applying for groups, as Gene was saying. And you can click this link over here to see how this announcing guest voter participation system works. Basically, the Optimism Collective Foundation rather decided to select about I think it's 100 people randomly on Farcaster to participate in the voting process alongside badge holders, and there'll be an application that's made by participants who want to apply for retrofunding, and then both the citizens and these 100 people who are randomly selected from Farcaster will be voting on how they think the funds should be allocated. There's still some details to be seen about exactly how the application will work and what will be voted on and stuff like that. They've been experimenting with retrofunding each round, so we'll see how it goes. And then there's also kind of like as part of their experiment, they have a system where the citizens will have kind of the more ultimate say about where the funding goes to by deciding how much the randomly selected voters, their votes will count towards the distribution and the final allocation of the funding. So this system with randomization voters is meant to experiment with how randomization and sortition can help potentially with allocation of funding, in addition to the kind of web of trust system that works with the current system for the 150 citizens in this process. They're also trying to figure out how to scale up the Citizens House too, which I think is something that Optimism Fractal can help with a lot and will help with a lot. So just as a note there. And then I suppose maybe one other thing I'll share, you can see all these in the thread, by the way, but one other thing I'll share too that is in the Notion page with a bit more details about this. That's kind of like a high level overview of everything there. Or maybe two other things. One, there's a video. If you go to this page in the governance forum, Michael had hosted a call where Emily, who works for the Optimism Foundation, had shared much more details about how the system works. And so this just happened about 9 days ago. And you can see all the things that they're thinking about and why they made this round design and what they're aiming to achieve there. There's a video that you can watch there, as well as a overview that's being showed on the screen right now in the governance forum. You can also find more details about past governance rounds too, if you'd like. And then there is on Warpcast or Farcaster, there is a post where they've already started selecting the active users from Farcaster from the previous 90-day period. And they're tagging people in this thread who have been randomly selected. So I saw Zal was selected, which is really cool. I also checked and there was like some people who seem to be like they might be bots, something like that. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking of reaching out to them about it, but you can see people who have been selected as guest voters. And then we also have some related projects as well about integrating Optimism Fractal in the Respect game with retrofunding and different things that can be applicable here. And like I said, we have those past two videos as well from Optimism Fractal 22, when we discussed retrofunding Optimism Fractal and how Optimism Fractal can help people earn retrofunding by measuring impact in the collective and also raising awareness for public goods creators, establishing identity systems, and pioneering their fractal governance and much more. And then also Optimism Fractal Seasons. In this video, we also discussed more details about it. So that's basically like the high level overview. If anybody has any questions or comments about that, then happy to answer or happy to hear thoughts. So I see Patrick raise his hand. If anybody else wants to share thoughts, would love to hear more as well from Howard, Abraham, Jacob, Renzo, Rosmari. I see. So feel free to raise your hand and curious to hear your thoughts and or happy to clarify anything as well. Patrick, what would you like to share?
Yeah, that's made a lot of information to grasp. We can all read that, yeah, for sure. I think more in terms of execution and be productive. And I don't want to follow your respect. So just want to say the things indeed. Let's say we have identified the solutions, governance solution that we have into Optimism Fractal. That's just an example. Huh? And then we want to apply. Have you already yourself done experience how to apply concretely to Optimism, to Retro PGF? Have you already made that one time, or could we do that as a group or as individual if we would want? That's my reasoning currently.
Yeah, so you're welcome. Like I said, I applied on behalf of the Optimistics team. People can check out optimistics.io. It's the team that founded Optimism Fractal and built the original software and so forth, and presents the events and so forth. Helps in lots of different ways. So yeah, I created the application back in round 3 for Optimistics and participated in that process. It was a very eventful time. And the application was pretty simple. It was pretty short, actually. There was I think like a 1,200 character limit. So we had to be really careful about just presenting in the most helpful way. And we also put together the metrics of things that we had achieved, the impact metrics, and then shared some links. So worked on that. And then that process was also very different too. So they changed their process a lot since then. In Retrofunding Round 3, they had all applications. So there was over, I think, 500 applications that got approved. There was over like 1,500 applications total, and then they kind of refined it down from ones that weren't high quality to about 500. And then all the badge holders had the opportunity to vote on all the projects. And so there was a lot of effort in promoting what we were doing to the badge holders at that time and conveying the value. Since then, they've changed the systems quite a bit and how the application process works, as well as how the voting process works too. So I'm not entirely sure how the application will look for this retrofunding round 6 and how it will look on an ongoing basis. It is sort of similar to how Optimism Fractal is evolving on an ongoing basis. The Optimism Collective Governance is also evolving and doing it so quite rapidly with many different iterations. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the application process will go, and then exactly how the voters will vote on different applications too. But I don't yet have those details.
Okay, so last limit to submit is October 10th.
It's 2 weeks from the 25th. So yeah, I think it's October 10th or 9th or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for all that, because that's a lot to grasp. And thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to help. And yeah, there is a lot of information going on with retrofunding. But if you take the time to read through the post and read through both the Twitter account has a high-level overview, and then those .optimism gov forum post, then you'll find a lot more details. And I recommend watching that video as well, where Emily shared more details. I'm sure there's more details coming out soon too. They'll probably do it in past cycles. They had like videos on the Optimism Collective YouTube channel where they kind of broke it down in a more accessible way too. So lots to absorb, and appreciate your interest in learning about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The floor is open. I'm curious if anybody has any questions, feel free. If it's also a basic question too, if you're not so familiar with retrofunding, and you know, there's no question that's too basic, or if you want to dive into the details of it, then happy to hear anybody's thoughts about optimism retrofunding. Also, perhaps how Optimism Fractal fits in the equation. One of the things that we're aiming to do is, like I said, help everybody get funded by helping to build things for optimism in general, and also for Optimism Fractal. So hopefully this will be an opportunity for everybody here to earn some funding from helping optimism in general and helping Optimism Fractal. Although also we don't know how it'll work out yet, but basically hopefully we'll be able to figure out something out that works well, and encourage everybody to look into it, because the more educated we are, and the more we can help optimism, then the higher chance that we can all have to be able to earn funding. There's also going to be many more rounds too. I should mention that Optimism Retrofunding, they're giving out 3.5 million OP now, but there's 850 million OP allocated from the original token distribution for retrofunding, and something like 30 million OP or 40 million OP has been distributed. So right now, the retrofunding, it previously happened once a year, but now it's happening about 4 times a year. And they're giving out something like 30 or 40 million OP this year, but there's another about 800 million OP remaining too. So there's a lot of opportunities in future seasons as well. And I see a lot of potential for Optimism Fractal to enhance the processes of retrofunding going forward in the long term too. So there's an opportunity both in this particular season, but then, and maybe the dev tooling round to the next round, but then also going forward in years. One thing that's really interesting about the Optimism Collective is that they're very interested in upgrading the way that the governance works. So they put out some blog articles about like the path to meta governance, and some other ones indicating basically they're interested in hearing community feedback about the best ways to design retrofunding. And I can see many ways, and we'd published some posts in the past about how Optimism Fractal can help with that. So that's also another lens that we can look at, both from this cycle and then in general, how Optimism Fractal, the respect game, and so forth can help facilitate and improve retrofunding. But I've been talking a lot now, and so curious. I see Rosemary asked a question. Rosemary asked, are political parties that Gene mentioned somewhat related to round 6, or is it more about governance in general? Curious, Gene, if you want to answer that.
Sure, yeah, it's not, I wasn't suggesting anything about round 6. It was more just the collective identity process of creating a political party based on individual understandings and concepts. So, yeah, not related to this, but
interesting. collective identity in general. So yeah, I will say that the ORDAO, OREC, and the Fractal Text-Based App, they have in common that they leverage the collective identity in general. So that could be a very good combo to propose. And shout out to Zal. Huh? He has made a great job also. He's selected. And shout out to René to join today, because it seems to be that I just meet you today. So that's nice to have you on the call. Can you just explain? You are in a contact. What are you doing? You are in contact with the retro PGF grants yourself, or?
No, not specifically. I just was a participant in one of the councils. I was lucky enough to be elected to one of the councils previously, so I just had some personal understanding and experience.
Super. Thank you.
Yep. His name is pronounced Jean too, I believe, by the way, Patrick.
Yeah, I pronounce.
Anyway, it's fine.
René is like Jorge in Spanish. You say René. Yeah.
All right, no problem. Let's stay on topic. So I saw Abraham said, "Gotta jump off. Cheers." Howard said, "Good town hall. Same. Lots of good info. See you guys later." So thanks to Howard and Abraham. Gene, I suppose we're 45 minutes past up the hour and only 15 minutes left to remain at the top of the hour. So maybe it'd be best to save the topic for the political parties on chain and so forth for next week. But very interested to discuss it if you want to pose it, or if you want to have a brief discussion about it now, then we could as well. And then Rosemary, Jake, Renzo, haven't heard much from you. Curious if you have any thoughts you'd like to share about retrofunding. Yeah, we could also wrap it up anytime too. So does anybody have any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. We need to leverage all what we do week after week, because if we took that separately, that's not the same experience. So if we could leverage all what we do, the ads protocol, the apps from Graham, the apps of Tadas, the apps of Vlad, you take all that together and that's make a cohesive package, I think, and that goes in the direction of the Retro PGF 6. And that's, I think, a better chance to, and as you said, it's one time per year. So seems to be, that's become one time per year. So we have the time to be prepared better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good points. We have a lot to offer. And
I see René stating, and I see René stating we actually need to have a talk about optimism in general, eventually, ideally sooner rather than later. What does it mean? That's very encouraging to see that.
If you'd like to elaborate on that, Gene, then feel free. Otherwise, we could also save it for the next event, but happy to hear your thoughts if you do want to elaborate on that.
Just an impetus to actually try to review what our assumptions are at any given moment and try to assess what we're actually basing our actions and intentions on. It's just a decent process to review that personally and individually and collectively at any opportunity that we get. So it's just a prompt to think broadly about things. But yeah, we can discuss it at another time.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I look forward to discussing that and hearing more of your thoughts about it. And we are over 15 minutes past the half hour, and it is probably good to be punctual, relatively punctual. We can extend it for longer if there's anything pressing that anybody else wants to ask or discuss related to Retrofunding Round 6. But otherwise, I'm ready to wrap it up whenever. Maybe we'll have a last call to see if there's any last thoughts, and if not, we can wrap it up on a maybe 3, 2, 1, go optimism. If everybody's up for it.
Yeah, let's do that. I do the countdown.
Okay, well, just wait for, let's give it a few seconds, see if anyone wants to jump in. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then maybe we'll start another countdown. Thanks everybody so much for
Okay.
joining. Thanks everybody so much for joining the Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall events. Hopefully you had a great time and learned a lot. Thank you everybody for watching. Looking forward to further exploring Retrofunding Round 6 with you, as well as the topics about optimism in more general, as you were suggesting, and all the other topics that we had on the agenda for today's town hall. Those will be up again. We'll have the registration poll for anybody who wants to participate in the Optimism Fractal Council. That will be going up shortly. And also we'll have the snapshot space where, as always, anybody can make any topic proposals, and feel free to share any thoughts in Discord. Looking forward to seeing everybody again on next Thursday at 17 UTC for our 43rd event. And thanks all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. We see great call, pleasure. Thanks all for the participation. Really appreciate it. And I suppose now we can go count down. If you want to join me in the counting down, Patrick or anybody else, then feel free. 3.
And we will say go
Optimism, I think.
Fractal.
Oh, go Optimism Fractal. Okay, that works for me. Sounds good. Okay. All right, ready?
Okay. So
all right.
3,
2, 1.
0.
Go 0. Go Optimism Fractal.
Yeah, baby.
All
All right.
see you guys.
Thanks all. See you next time.